Hey everybody, it's Mary at Yard Art or Us. I'm going to show you how to do some base coating today. I have this rabbit ear truck, and yes, I have the camera turned where I think you guys can actually see it. So I've already base coated some white on here, and I'm going to start with the sky blue just because that's the color I like. I'm going to do the sky blue here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take some sky blue because I don't have a roller that has sky blue on it yet. So I got to put a lot on there. And so I'm going to just start base coating this guy. What I hope to be able to do is I'm going to do this while the sky blue is drying. And I hope this morning that I can do the letters. I think I'm going to do my letters in a light yellow. But I've got to put this on here right quick, this sky blue. And I'm going to do that, and while that's drying, I'm going to base coat some other stuff. I'll actually be on tonight finishing this guy up, but I wanted you guys to have a good look at what I'm doing to kind of get ready for that. So tonight I'll be on at 7 finishing this guy up, right? So right now I need to do some base coating, and I'm just using this roller. And I'm using the roller on the sides too. And then once I get this, the blue, I just love this blue, y'all. I just am in love with it. So that's why I decided to make my truck blue. Obviously you can do any color you want, but this is that #1 sky blue. And I think for springtime, it's just, you can't go wrong with it. So I'm doing this right quick, and then I'll sit down and look at comments here in a little bit once I get this. So I'm gonna hope that this dries pretty quick. And I even have my hair dryer out in case it doesn't. And then I'm gonna go ahead and paint this tub while that's drying. So, hey Phaedra, how are you doing? I hope you're doing good. It's a lovely day outside. The weather's awesome. And we really depend on the weather so much. So for me, today's just a good day. I'm gonna do some base coating. So I have all my mop brushes out. I had to go dig for them, y'all. We do have these in the store now. I just put some in stock. But that's what I'm gonna use. I used a roller on this, but on this other part, I'm gonna use a mop brush. Now, I'm going to hopefully show you a couple of things. So I did not put number 24 gray on there, on the label on the back. So this is the label on the back. I'm trying to kind of go off that today just to kind of help y'all. Again, you can do any color you want. That's just a suggested color. So I did not put gray on there. So here's what I'm going to do. If you don't have gray, you're going to take some black and you're going to take some white. Because anytime, in fact, Victoria and I are getting ready to do a video in the Academy on mixing colors. She and I were just talking about that this morning. I'm hoping we get to do that with y'all next week. But I'll definitely make a post and send it out in an email. Okay, so that gray is still too dark. So I'm gonna put some more white in here. And what I'm gonna do on gray is I'm gonna make my window gray and the inside of my wheels gray. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm kind of getting there. That's pretty good. So I just put some white and some black and made some gray. So that's what I'm gonna do on my windshield right here. Actually, that's still too dark. Hold on a second, y'all. What I might have to do, that's just too dark. All right, trash can. So here we go. So let's try this another way. That's too dark, and I think I'm gonna have too much trouble. So I'm gonna put some white in here with just a tad of black, not much black. Let's try it this way. I don't want it to be really, really dark. I wanna go for a light gray. All right, there we go. I got a light gray. I'm doing better, y'all. I'm not even gonna wash this brush. I'm just gonna take some paper towels and do it this way. Just kind of dry it off. Okay. So I'm gonna take this, we're gonna try this again. All right, this is so much better. This is the color I was really wanting. So this is just some white and I put some black in it. If you have that number 24 gray at home and you've got that, that's good if you want to use it. And if you don't, no big deal. Again, I'm just doing a base coat in this first video to kind of give y'all an idea of what it's going to look like. And then I'll get back on this evening, probably about 7, and show you what I would do to finish it up. So what I'm gonna, these are kind of like the little hubcaps in here. And this is the little fender part. So I think on the fenders, I might make those a little bit darker sky blue. And here's what I would call the bumper. So I'm gonna just do this, some gray on my bumper, my hubcaps, my windshield. And I think my fenders, I'm gonna make those a little bit darker blue. I'll probably do a little bit of mixing of paint with that. I already put the sky blue on here, but that's okay. I'm gonna just kind of put some gray on there. And Carla, how are you doing? I've seen you on our videos quite a bit. I'm pretty familiar with Phaedra. She lives here in town. I know who she is. In fact, I taught some of her kids when I taught school. But I'm not sure, where are you from? Are you here local? I'm hoping that you're learning a lot by following us. That's kind of the goal here. Now, I've got on my color palette, and I have not decided any of this beforehand, before I got on here today, okay? I do know that the light yellow I'm gonna do is going to be for Happy Easter letters. So because I know I'm gonna use that light yellow on the letters, I'm not gonna use the light yellow on my eggs. But what I probably will do is go with this. I've got a light orange, a light pink, a mint green, and a sky blue. I'm not gonna use a whole lot of sky blue because that's really for my truck. Hey, Kathy. Oh, Carla, so you're in Alvin, so you're just a hop, skip, and a jump. That's good, that's good. I know Kathy's local too. So that's good for y'all because, you know, you're just right close to us and you don't have to pay shipping. And if you need anything, you can just run up to the store. So probably what I will do, and I also had, I don't know, what did I do? I had some light purple, y'all. Or I thought I did. Let's see. Okay, maybe I'm crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to, all of my light colors, I'm not really trying to be persnickety about them. I'm just trying to put some color on here that I think is gonna look good as far as springtime and Easter. Of course, later on, I'm gonna be doing shading, highlighting, and outlining. This is just a base coat. That's all it is. So I'm gonna go with those lighter springtime colors and put some paint on here. Basically, that's all I'm really going for right now. To get some paint on there, and of course I'm gonna paint my edges. Let's see. And what I might do while I have that mint green is come over here and just do one stripe of the egg in mint green. And then I will wash this brush out right quick and go to another light color. Probably, let's do light pink. Let's do that. Hold on, just washing out my brush. All right, got it washed out. I'm gonna dry it out a little bit. And then I've got, I think I like this pink over here. This is just number, y'all see I actually labeled these. This is 25 light pink. Hey Rachel, how are you? Now Rachel, I think it just dawned on me the other day that if I have you correct, you are Stephanie and David's daughter. If I have you correct, let me know if that's right or wrong. And that never snapped with me until I was looking at something the other day on Facebook. And then I noticed where you were from and I was like, could that be? Small world. I used to be your mom and dad's neighbor back in the day when Bruce and I were first married. If I have you down as the person I think you are. And of course, I was good friends with your grandma. Still, she lives out in Harwood now, so I haven't seen her in a long time. Okay. Let's see, I think I got all that. So while I have my pink out, I'll just come over here and do this. And this is just about putting a base coat on. That's all I'm striving for right now. just to base coat it enough that probably I'll get on here about 5 o'clock and do some shading, and then tonight do some outlining and highlighting. It's probably what I'll do. I just noticed, y'all, I forgot this little up here with the sky blue. That's what I've used. So I'm gonna wash my brush out one more time and get some sky blue. And then I'm gonna show you probably what I'm gonna do with the Fender. So I'm gonna put some sky blue up here. I'm gonna come up here, kind of finish off the truck. Love, love, love this sky blue. We have not had this blue in, but maybe about a year in our color palette. I think it was last year we actually added it. And I'm really glad we did because it's super cool. It's a good color. And I don't use it much in the winter or the fall, but ooh, all spring and all summer. Yes, love it, love it, love it, love it. So I'm going to just kind of come in here. And again, I'm painting those edges like I always do. Got the sky blue. While I have that out, I'll probably just come in here and do this. Put a little bit of blue right here. And do something like that. I'm gonna put some orange and some light purple. I can't find my light purple right now, although y'all, I had it just a while ago. So on my Fender for the truck, what I might, I've never tried this, so we're gonna see if I like it. Since I still have blue here. Okay, so you are Stephanie and David's daughter. Got you, got you. That's what I thought. Small world, isn't it? I'm so glad you're a part of our group, Rachel. We painted, even when we used to live in Wadsworth, right beside your mom and dad. We didn't paint a whole lot, but we did some back then. And of course, that was before you were born, but that was a long time ago. And we moved from Wadsworth to Pearland in 1980. Oh, 88, I think. I think it was 88, yeah. So, small world. Okay, so I've got my sky blue. I'm gonna try this. I don't know if I'm gonna like it because I've never done this before. I'm gonna take some of this number 6 dark blue or navy blue, right? And I just want you to watch. I'm not gonna put a whole lot. I'm gonna put, because you can always go back and add some, but it's hard to take it out, right? And of course, y'all know, if you watch me at all, you know I'm a fan of the water, so I've got to put some water in there. And then y'all know I have my little stir sticks. You can get these stir sticks, I think at Sam's, but I think I normally get them at the restaurant supply. Okay, so I put some in there and it's not really darkening the way I want, so I'm gonna do this. Oh, isn't that right? And Carla, I haven't even shown y'all the little ears that go with it because honestly, the ears are missing. To me, this whole truck is cute because of the ears. But later on this afternoon, I'm gonna show y'all the ears. Y'all live in Wadsworth across the track. Oh, you do? I did not know that. Small world, yeah. Love Wadsworth. I'm sure it's very different than what it used to be. But we lived out there in 1985, 86, 87, and then moved to Pearland in 1988. So, small world. Okay, so I have it a little bit darker. Not a whole lot. And I'm not even going to wash out this brush. I'm just going to kind of take this and get some paint off of it. That's all I'm going to do. And then kind of dip it in here. And all I did was add some of the navy blue to that. And then later on, what I plan on doing with this is I'm going to put a lot of white on these fenders. So really, by the time I get through with them, they're not going to be near this dark as they are right now. I like them. Love this sky blue. Love the fender. And then you'll see later on when I get back on here and finish it, these fenders are going to have a lot of white on them. So that'll lighten them right up, making them very, very springtime, you know, kind of look. But I love this truck. I'll get the ears too. I don't have them right now just because who knows where the ears are, y'all. There's 2 trucks that ended up with no ears, so we had to go back and cut some more. Now I want to put some of this, which is my light orange. And put some of that on here. And let's see. Okay, here's my light purple, y'all. I knew I had it. Knowing you have it and can find it is two different things, y'all. I don't know if y'all ever feel that way, but knowing you have something and finding it, well, that could be very different. So I'm going to put a little bit of light orange right here. Oh, Lord, y'all. I better shake this up. When I have these bottles, I put my finger over them and I shake them up like this. Okay. Because I have some orange here that's not going to do good. So I got to get some a napkin and just kind of dab that up. All right, now that I've shaken it up, I can kind of come in here and put some orange on here. And I just basically, when I'm doing Easter and springtime things, I kind of stick to this light pastel springtime colors. I don't put a lot of red on things because I kind of save that for Christmas. And I don't put a lot of dark browns on things because that's kind of Thanksgiving to me. But it's really whatever you want. There's no right or wrong. Whatever colors you like, that's what you go with. Oh, y'all, I have to show y'all this. Y'all gonna get a kick out of this. So, I think I've told y'all before how I'm trying to learn all things digital, and it's been a battle. It's just been a battle. So, I have a lot of empathy for those of you that are really trying to learn to paint because that comes very natural to me. But I can say that. I hope I can show this to you. I cleaned out my art room, and so I've seen many things that I threw in the trash, but there was all kinds of photos that I came across. I think this photo says it was done in 1996. So what is that, 30 something years ago? This is how I used to paint. I'm gonna kind of get it up there where y'all can see it, hopefully. This is a Christmas tree. I haven't painted this tree in a bazillion years, but that's kind of how I used to paint. You don't see any shading and highlighting. You see what I would call a minimal amount of outlining. And so don't always think that everything I do as far as painting has been easy. It really is a skill. That it's like playing a musical instrument. It's like learning to play a sport, speak a language, a foreign language. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun too, y'all, I think. Okay, so I found my light purple. I'm gonna put some of that in here. And I'm just taking this mop brush, and you can tell I have quite a bit of paint on here. And actually I have too much, so I'm gonna put some of this in the trash can. That's where there's a trash can below me because I really have too much paint on here, but that's okay. I'm gonna smooth it out. And now I'm going, okay. Now I'm gonna go over here, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make my wheels black. But right now, I'm going to resist doing that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this thing on a little bit. It's just a regular hair dryer that you can get at any store. I'm not going to worry about drying this whole thing. I'm trying to dry these words just enough that I know I can come in here and lay some yellow paint on top of it and it not mess up. After I finish the base coating, I'll put this outside. In a couple hours it'll be good to go, and I can go do some, the shading and all the other stuff. But I'm not going to paint these wheels black right now because, as you can see, this is my workspace, right? This is where I'm going to be. And because of that, I don't want black paint all over. This is where it would go. That black paint would go all over my arms. So what I'm going to do is this. I have a round brush. I don't even think we have these at the store. This is just a round brush that I like, and I get it sometimes. I think you can get them off Amazon. And I'm going to take some yellow paint. I'm going to paint my Happy Easter letters yellow. Now, I'm going to try this. This brush may be too big. If it's too big, I'm going to swap it out for a number 6 script liner, okay? Yes, you have to attach the ears afterwards. Thank you, Phaedra. I didn't even think to say that. And the reason we do the design that way, Phaedra, is if we don't and we put those big ears up here, I have to charge a lot more money because those ears stick out further than the eggs. And then that means we can't get as many out as on a sheet. So in this business, it's always about trying to figure out how you can, it's kind of like if you sewed and made clothes, you're always trying to figure out how you can get everything out of the least amount of fabric, right? And that's it for us. Okay, Y'all, this brush is too big. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to get, this is an old school number 6 script liner. It's very old, so that's part of the reason why it's fanned out so much. But I think it'll do me good for my lettering. So my thought is on this, on the Happy Easter letters, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to paint them blue, and then I haven't really made up my mind. I may just come back, I paint them blue, paint them yellow. What am I talking about? Well, they are blue right now, aren't they? I'm gonna paint them yellow, and I think I'll come back later and use the shading yellow or the orange, shading orange, I haven't decided yet, and outline those letters in either the, I might go the orange because the orange is a lot, the shading orange, because it's a lot brighter than the shading yellow. So I'm just taking that number 6 script liner, I'm just coming in here and putting some paint in there. That's all I'm doing. And, but yes, you have to put the ears on after the fact. And, which is probably, since we cut them out separately, the reason why I'm missing 2 sets of ears. Who knows, y'all? I'll find those ears this Christmas when I don't need them anymore. That's about the sum of it. That's about the sum of it. Okay, so I got that. Yes. So you'll see when I come back on this afternoon, I'm going to outline those letters. And I do think I'm going to do it in that shading orange. I like how this yellow is going on this sky blue so far. So for that, I'm grateful, because you just don't know sometimes. Yellow can be a difficult color. A difficult color. And what I mean by that is sometimes yellow is very transparent. So if you're having trouble with yellow, take a little bit of white paint and mix it with that yellow. That'll give you a little bit more of an opacity or a body to hold on to, because the yellow can be sometimes like red. It can be difficult. And but right now, I'm good with the yellow the way it is, because I think it's covering real well. And that's all I care about. If your yellow is covering the way you want it to, then there's no need to do anything other than just keep painting. If your yellow is not covering the way you want it to, I'd put a little bit of white. And that's what I do sometimes. It depends on the scenario. But right now, from what I'm seeing, I'm liking the way that this is covering. So I haven't added any white to this yellow. But you know, if I painted a truck that was, let's say, a real bright red, I don't know that this yellow would go over it very good. But since I painted this truck kind of a, what I would consider a soft blue, sky blue, it's what we call it, but I consider it like a soft blue, then I think we're good to go. Because I see this yellow covering very well, and that's really all I care about. So I'll put this out in the sun after a while and let it dry really good. And then I'll come back on and outline and shade and all of that. But as far as the Academy goes, I try to give y'all as much insight and looking into exactly how I would do things. And let you kind of see the whole enchilada, so to speak. And luckily, I've had a lot of you say that y'all have learned a lot, so that's good. That's the whole point. And Miss Victoria and I have 3 videos that are going to come into the Academy. One of them is mixing colors. That I hope to do next week. One of them is just on trying to see what we can do with making it look like a fur, like of an animal, a cat or a dog. Or so we're going to do one video on fur or animal hair, however you want to call it. And then we're going to do one video, which I really need a lot of help with, y'all. I'm not good with plaid, and I want to learn. There's so many things that I see nowadays that I think, oh, that's really cute, but Ashley's better at the plaid thing than I am. And so Victoria, I'd ask her, could she kind of teach me? So on the plaid, I think we're just going to click the live button and let her and I sit here in front of y'all and let her teach me. That's kind of what I think we're going to, which honestly, she's going to be teaching all 3 classes. I'm going to be more the pupil, but I really am lost on the plaid thing. So I'm hoping that we can kind of break that down to where, you know, for those of you that are as lost as I am, that you become successful with, a little more successful, or at least know how how to go about doing the plaid, right? You're not going to really be successful until you practice. Well, that's just a given, but you don't want to practice just going blind. I always like to look at what people are doing and then, you know, practice based off what I see them doing. At least you have a little bit of a better shot that way. Now this end, I didn't dry with the dryer, so this end's a little more wet. So I can see that in my yellow. So I'm gonna stop here just to see. You know, a lot of times you don't need a whole lot of air for something to dry, just enough. So I would say, let me put a little bit of air on the letters. Oh, y'all, I just love this truck. He is so cute. And you wait till I get the ears on there. That's what makes him really cute, I think. So. Okay, it's not real dry, but it's tacky enough that I think I can put my yellow on here and it not smear. And like I said, I'll put it outside this afternoon. It's a decent day outside and it'll dry. But when I saw this template on this truck, I was like, no, I gotta have that. Some of the things we draw ourselves and some of the things we get from other people. There's not enough hours in the day, in my opinion, to run a store and run a online website and be the administrator of all that and do lives and paint and design. Sometimes there's just not enough, but I think everybody feels that way no matter what you're doing. That's just kind of life. So because there's really not enough hours in the day. And a lot of times on patterns or designs, even if we buy them from somebody, because we're using them for a CNC and for blanks to cut out, we still have to digitize them. So it's not as simple as you just, you know, buy the template and bam, you're done. You buy the template for the right to digitize it, but you still have to digitize it. But now let's say you were working on a Cricut or a Silhouette or something of that nature, then you really wouldn't need to digitize it the way the reason we have to digitize it is it's got to go through and be read by our software that runs our CNC. So that's why just because we buy something doesn't mean it's ready to go. So it's it can be a little deceiving, you know. Sometimes people will say, oh, this is the design that I bought, can you cut it out for me? And it's not as simple as plug and play. I can cut it out, but I still have to charge you for the time that it's gonna take for me to put it in my software, like an Adobe Illustrator, I work in there a lot, and digitize it. So it's not as easy as just, oh, plug and play. It doesn't work that way, y'all. Which is kind of the part of the reason why we have the business that we have, because that's part of what we bring to the table is the work that it takes to get it in that machine, and then the work that it takes to actually cut it on the machine. And of course the expense of the machine, the operation of the machine, the maintenance of the machine, and of course paying for the machine. And did I mention the insurance for the machine? Because y'all know how life is, you gotta have insurance. So that's really so much of what our business is about. Okay, so I have Happy Easter done. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to get a fresh mop brush, and I'm gonna make my wheels black. And I just kind of pour it on here, and there we go. So if you want squeeze bottles, we sell them, the smaller ones, but you can get them like at any restaurant supply. I think you can even get them at Walmart sometimes. I've seen them there. You know, wherever you can find them, that's what I say. I've used squeeze bottles for well, probably all the years that I've been painting, I've used squeeze bottles. Lots of years. And they're not that expensive, so thankfully, I'm glad they're not, because I have a lot of bottles. Okay, how do we download the templates for January? I'm looking online and don't see. Phaedra, that's a good question. So here's the deal. I think I know I did a post, and I sent an email out. So just email me if you want the templates for January. I sent y'all an email, and I said, if you want templates for January, what I need you to do is email me, and I will just hit reply and send them to you. There's 2 of them. In fact, I can tell you what they are. Let's see, for January, the templates are this truck and the Valentine's cap. So if you'll just email me, then I will hit reply, and then I'll send them to you in a zip file. That zip file has a PDF, a JPEG, SVG, and a DXF. So it comes in 4 formats. So I always have to work with a DXF, but I know that many of you, like let's say you're gonna use a block poster or something like that, you're gonna probably want a PDF or a JPEG. And then those of you that might be using a Cricut or a Silhouette, you're probably gonna want something like an SVG. So if you'll email me that, just email me and I'll hit reply and I'll send them to you. So we are going to, I don't know how quick we are gonna do it, but we are going to offer paper patterns. So for those of you that don't want to mess with, you know, downloading something on your computer, or you don't have a Cricut, or you don't wanna mess with having to do block poster, and you do want to cut your own blanks, a paper pattern would be a good way to go, because basically you order the paper pattern. I would have to print it because we're not going to carry stock on that. Once I print it, I'll drop it in the mail to you or leave it at the shop and you come get it. And it's a piece of paper that's this size with all the lines drawn on it. You take graph paper or what do you call it, graphite paper or tracing paper, lay it under there, put your piece of paper on there, draw it out on your board, cut it out, there you go. You got your pattern. So the paper patterns, we have made a lot of progress on the digitals. I think y'all can probably tell that by the website. And geez, y'all, it's a lot of work. The paper patterns, we haven't gotten that far because we just haven't got the printer yet that we need it to set up. Because basically what I have to do on a paper pattern, I have to put it on a big printer. So, okay, I just saw your email come through. So Phaedra, I'll hit reply and I'll send those two to you this afternoon. So here's the thing. I've got everything base coated the way I want. I'm gonna back this up so y'all can kind of see, right? And I love the sky blue with the yellow letters. I think I'm gonna use orange on outlining them, okay? And there's the front of the truck. And then you can see there's the back of the truck. And then I'll get on later on this afternoon, probably around 3 or 4, and I will outline these letters and do a little bit of shading, and then I'll get on tonight and kind of really do some serious shading, highlighting, and outlining. So hope you guys have a good afternoon. It's awesome weather out there. And I will see y'all in a couple more hours. Bye-bye. Thank you. Hey, everybody. I am going to show you on this part, I'm going to be working. My goal is to make these letters have a lot of depth. So what I'm doing is I base coated them in the light yellow, right? I've got shading yellow with a flat tip brush, a number 10 flat tip brush, and I'm just kind of going in here almost kind of sloppily, I guess, for lack of a better word. I'm not trying to make this look uniform. I'm not trying to make this look symmetrical, I guess. I'm trying to kind of just get a little bit of yellow paint on here to where it looks a little, almost a little shabby chic, sloppy, kind of, whatever you want to call it. I am going to go ahead and just do this on all the letters. And again, it's not about it looking, it's kind of looking a little bit uneven, but that's what I want. So, but I think when you see me put the, I'm going to come back here in just a minute and I'm going to put some orange on here. So I have this shading yellow. I have this flat tip brush. Hey Tiffany, hey Phaedra, how are y'all? And I'm just kind of going in here sloppily, almost like a dry brush kind of look, which is not really dry brushing because I have way too much paint on here for dry brushing. But I'm just kind of giving it the hand painted kind of look. And I think when I come in here after this and I put some orange outline, I think it's going to look really, I think it's going to look just the way I want it. When you look at the letters, you kind of want it looking like they're imperfect, is the way I'm going to try to describe that. You don't want them necessarily being all perfect. Now, if you don't go for the imperfect look, then you could just totally skip this step that I'm doing. And all I'm doing is just kind of coming in here with some paint. And if you don't like that, you don't like that imperfect look, that dry brush kind of messy look or whatever, you don't have to do this part. You can just go ahead and outline it. I'm just doing this because I really like that kind of look. But if you don't, no worries. And you don't have to mess with it. It'd be one less thing you're gonna do. So you can just take that small flat tip shading brush, put a little bit of paint on here, and I'm just kind of almost sloppily going around the edges. And then that way, you know, you can make sure you have the very uneven hand painted kind of thing look. And I like it. That's part of the appeal, I think, of this. But if you don't like it, it's no big deal. You don't have to, you can totally skip this part. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. That was my shading yellow. This is my shading orange, okay? I am gonna add a little bit of water to this because I do think that I'm gonna need this to be a little bit thin. So, Carla, how are you? Tiffany, how are y'all? Glad y'all could join me. I'm gonna do a little bit, right now, I'm just gonna kind of focus on the letters. And then tonight I'm gonna actually do all of the shading of the whole piece. But the lettering is gonna take me a little bit because there's a lot of letters. So that's what I'm working on right now. So what I'm gonna do is this. And it's just kind of tedious, but I think the look of it looks really good if you do that. And I'm just trying to stay in that groove, that CNC line is what I'm trying to do. I'm not really trying to go out of it. Of course I'll go out of it a little bit because that's just the way our hand is. But I think I'm gonna like this lettering, just staying in that CNC line. Now, I've got this thing on a Lazy Susan. I'm gonna have to take it off because that thing's moving on me. Now you can see all of this is dry, thank goodness, because what am I doing? I'm putting my elbows down here, aren't I? So this is just a number 4 script liner with some shading orange, and I'm just staying inside that line. And I think between the shading orange, the light yellow, and the shading yellow, I'm gonna get the exact look that I think I want. Meaning my letters are gonna be kind of, they're cute letters just because of the font, but they're also gonna be cute because they've got 3 different colors of paint on them. And that shading yellow that I used with that flat tip brush is kind of messy, but that's the look I'm going for. I like that. I don't want it to be real perfect. So, but you can totally skip the shading part on the yellow if you don't like that. And you can just totally outline it like this. But I like the orange. I'm a fan of orange and blue and orange and green. Orange and blue and orange and green. I've always kind of been a fan of that. Or even orange and pink. I like orange and pink a lot. So, but you can kind of see just the difference in this E that I just did. You get almost like a 3-dimensional look to that. I could, if I wanted to, and I may later on, come in here and just put a little bit of white, and that would really make those letters pop, because so much of this truck, to me, is the look of this truck is all about the rabbit ears, which I went and got me some ears. I haven't base coated them yet, but I did go get some went to the shop and found me some ears. But this, what's cute about this is the rabbit ears and then the lettering, the Easter, Happy Easter lettering. To me, that is what makes this truck, is the appeal of this truck is that. It's gonna be your letters and it's gonna be the rabbit ears. Without those 2 things, I don't think this would look near as good. And I'm just dipping my paint in this number 4 script liner and just taking my time and staying inside that, trying to stay down inside the groove that CNC bit is done, where it's etched it into that material. Oh, y'all, I really like this. I wasn't sure. I played a little bit with it before I got on here, just to make sure that I was gonna like it, but oh, y'all, I like that. I like that. So I'm just gonna sit here and go in these lines. And then after it dries, I might come back and put some white highlights on these letters. We'll see. We shall see. Who knows? But you can see that this is, this would all be hard to do in one live because I'd have to have two or three different pieces of it to do that. And I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to just use one piece. All right. And I hope y'all have noticed, I don't know if y'all have, but if you've had a chance to look at our website, so many of the live tutorials that I've recorded, or Victoria or Ashley, whoever has recorded, we have put them on that platform that where you can go and buy the blank. So whenever you're purchasing the blank, of course, if we haven't done the live, it's not on there yet. But let me know if you've seen that. Hey, Pam, how are you? Yes, we did cut the ears separately. And here's the ears, y'all. I haven't even done them yet. I had to go find them, but the ears are separate, okay? And I've got to base coat them. I haven't done that. And you've got to mount them, obviously, after you finish. You have to mount those. But the reason we do that is because if we did the ears attached, then we can't get as many out of a sheet of material. Then we have to charge more. So whenever you're doing any work on that, with that CNC, there's a feature in there called nesting, N-E-S-T, nesting, I-N-G. And all nesting means is you load your design in there in your software, and you if you feel like it, you can do it manually or you can let the machine, it's just up to you. If you want the machine to nest, you have to give it time. It takes a little bit of time. And the machine will sit there and work and try to configure based on the size and the design that you gave and try to get as many out of a sheet of material as you can. So that's important because basically, here's the thing. When you're talking about the blanks, you've got two real considerations for cost. There's a few other things, but the biggest ones are gonna be material. How much material is it gonna take? And how much time is it on the machine? Like, last night, Miss Victoria did those Faith, Hope, and Love crosses. And I can tell you that machine worked and worked and worked and worked on those crosses because there was a lot of design on those. Now, this guy that I have right here, I would say it's a little heavy on design, but not too bad. And it's just the nature of some designs are more like that, depending on how much detail you have. So sometimes, you know, a machine could take an hour to do something. If it's something extraordinarily simple, it'll take 30 minutes. If it's something like those Faith, Hope, and Love crosses that she did last night, probably, I don't know, maybe 2 hours on that. I don't run the machine, but I do know that it takes a lot of time. You have to give the machine the time for that bit to go in there and etch all that design onto the board. So it all takes time. But yeah, hopefully, let me know, how would we, I'll show you that tonight, but basically we left a little space down here. If you look, there's a little space. This little space is gonna go behind the truck, but I'll show you that tonight. And I wouldn't do it until after you paint everything. I'm gonna paint all of mine, the back of it, I'm gonna poly it, and probably when I put the stake on it is when I'm gonna attach the ear. I do it all separate. I just wait. To me, it's easier to do it that way. So anyway, but yeah, if y'all have seen those videos on on our website, let me know if you think that's helpful or not. We put our videos, the Academy videos don't show up on YouTube for quite some time because we leave those, we kind of save those and hold those back just for the members. But anything in the Painters Club, we kind of put up immediately. So if it's been in the Painters Club, we'll put it on our website. Just another way for you to go find that how-to tutorial if it's easier to go find it on the website versus scrolling through the Facebook feed. So, but look at the difference So you can see right now, obviously Happy just has the base coat of yellow and what I call the sloppy shade of shading yellow. And then Easter has got the orange on it. So it's a pretty big difference, right? To me, that orange on the blue looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and do the P, and the Y. And then for tonight's live, I'll do the H and the A for everybody who tunes in tonight so they can just see what I did. But I think this guy's really cute. So, but do it in any color you like. You don't have to use the colors I've done. I tend to like things very, very, very bright. That's just me. But it's totally about whatever colors you like. And it's kind of, just take some time, take your time and take that script liner and just go down into that groove where the CNC hit, the bit hit it. And you can see this, I've got the script liner that just, I've got it really sitting, or actually the position of this brush is very, very straight, where the tip of this is pointing straight to the ceiling. I don't have it angled down like that, because I'm trying to just really be precise and stay inside that line. Okay, I'm going to do this P, and then like I said, I'm going to save the H and the A for tonight, just so people can see. All right, just gonna finish this little guy right here. I'm gonna hold this up so you can see it. I'm gonna show you in just a second. I'm gonna base coat those ears. Okay. I love the lettering. I love the font, y'all. I love the fact that we've got 3 colors on there. You've got your light yellow, your shading yellow, and your shading orange. And then, like I said, probably tonight, I'll come in and put a little bit of white in there. Hey Ash, I hope you're feeling better. Ashley's not been feeling too good, so hope she's feeling better. We had lost some of these ears, but y'all look, to me, what makes this truck cute is the Happy and the Easter, and then of course you got to have your ears. To me, that's what makes this guy look cute, but I'll be showing y'all the more on the ears tonight, but that's what makes him look cute. So what I think I'm gonna do for my ears, I thought about this, now I've got the sky blue, and I always think of blue like as a cool color. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with light orange on this. I've told y'all I like blue and orange, but the light orange just kind of gives you a more of a warm color, and it's of a contrast. So all I'm gonna do right now, I hurt my finger, y'all, is just take some of this, and I'm gonna get my mop brush and do a little base coat on here. And then of course, when I get on here this evening, I will do my live and finish all this up and show y'all the finished product. Somebody asked earlier, and it is exactly right, that we're out of stock on this item. We are. I will post this afternoon. I've got him cutting another sheet of these. So we are gonna have some more of these if you haven't bought one and you want one. And I'll make a post this afternoon when I actually get it in the system. Of course, we're closed today at the store, but that's okay. Kept liquids down for a couple hours. Hopefully I'm on the mend. I know. It's like, hey, Victoria, how are you? Yes, I love the orange and yellow letters on that blue truck. And then, but I will make a post this afternoon whenever we do get those. We got some more trucks painted. I just don't have them in the inventory. And then, of course, we're closed on Mondays at the store, but you can always order online. And if you want, then we'll pull them, and then you can come pick them up whenever you want. So I'm just using light orange, and then I think I'm gonna use shading orange on this guy when I shade him later on after he's dry. And shading orange and red orange to outline. Shading orange to shade, red orange to outline. There you go. I got my ears here, and I'm gonna let them dry. I'll probably come on about 7, and then I will finish up this whole truck. And hopefully you guys are gonna be wanting to paint this, and if you do, you can use this as a reference. And just so you know, anytime I do videos like this where I have 3 different set, you know, part 1, part 2, and part 3, I will put all 3 of those together in one video, and I will post them on the Yard Art Academy website. So if you want to go to those modules and just see the whole thing, but that's something I do, and I put it in the Academy, and I will post it in there, and you can go see part 1, 2, and 3 all together. But I'll see you back here in a little while. Well, let's say about 5 hours, because it'll be tonight. Kim says, I hope we had another big order. Get over there Friday. Sounds good. I saw that come in. Now, Tiffany, you really can do whichever you want. If you have plenty of material, it's probably easier to leave the ears attached the first go around. Just cut the ears out with the truck all in one time. If you are trying, let's say you've got a big sheet of material and you want to do 5 trucks or 4 trucks and you're trying to squish them around and get them all on there, I definitely would cut the ears out separately, because it's gonna go further. But if you're only just trying to cut one, you got plenty of material, you can absolutely cut the ears out with the truck. It doesn't really matter. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. I'll be back here after probably about 7 o'clock, and I'm gonna finish this guy up for you. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Hey everybody at Yard Art or Us, it's Mary Amick, and I'm going to work on showing you how to finish this guy. So I came on earlier today and showed you guys all sorts of things. So let's talk about what I did so far. I base coated this guy in white paint. One time I just put one whole base coat of white. I did a base coat of sky blue, and then I mixed some sky blue with navy blue and made these fenders in a darker color. I painted the letters in a light yellow. I came back and just did what I call kind of a sloppy shade. I didn't try to be precise or anything like that. Hey Carla and Debbie, how are y'all? Hey Victoria. So I did what I call some sloppy shading in the yellow, the shading yellow. I didn't try to be perfect with it, and then I did a script liner outline of the shading orange. So also I went ahead, earlier today I didn't have my ears attached, so I went ahead and base coated these ears. I did this light orange, and then of course light yellow. Let me show you what I did on the back. Actually, I didn't do it, Bruce did, but I'm going to show you how we attached them. That's not to say you have to attach them this way, but that's how I did. He always attaches things from the back. You could have screwed it in from the front and just paint the screws, so it's no big deal. But that's just kind of showing you how we do it. And I think Carla or somebody earlier today had a question about that, so I wanted to show you all that, because when this thing is wet, at the end of the video, I really can't show you guys too much because it's so wet, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do, I really like my letters, and I think I'm good with how they turned out. When I look at this, the first thing I see is that we've got 3 eggs that have nothing on them but a base coat, and 2 ears, nothing on but a base coat. So we're going to start there. Hope y'all are having a good night. I am having a good day so far. Kind of tired, but you know, it's a good tired, so that's all right. And I think what I'm gonna do on these guys, I thought about this. I think we're just going to do polka dots. Probably that size. So these are just pouncers. You can get any, like I think we get these at Amazon, honestly, if I remember right. And, but Walmart might have them. So what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna do on this is the mint green. So I kind of like the idea of doing, here, let's try this. I got a little, oh man, you're not supposed to do that. Oh Lord, it's Monday, y'all. Hey Pam, hey Phaedra, how are y'all doing? Question, I paint the back before I paint the front. Normally I don't, but today a question came up earlier about the bunny ears, so I went ahead and painted the back, and so I could attach my bunny ears, so I could just show y'all what I do on attaching my bunny ears. Y'all don't have, you can always put screws from this side as opposed to the back. Typically what I do is I wait till the very end and I paint my backs last. That's just usually what I do. But there's absolutely no right or wrong way. It's kind of whatever you want to do. Part of the reason I paint the backs last is it's just a good way for your backs to stay clean, because if you paint them before you finish, or you paint the backs first, then what's going to happen, for me, I have paint all over these tables, so my backs are going to look all kind of messed up. But if you don't care about that, who cares, you know. I sell to the public, so I kind of have to be a little bit more watchful of that. Some people really care about that, and so I've got to be a little more, maybe a little more cautious than what some people would have to do. So I typically paint the backs last, but it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. And I'm just very quickly just kind of doing this pouncer. And you can see it doesn't take long, and you can have your egg decorated that way, right? So I'm washing out this pouncer over here in my bucket of water. All right, I think I've got it washed out. I'm gonna put it back in here. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use, let's see, what did I have here? I like to look at this thing to make sure I'm using the colors that I said I was gonna use. Now obviously you can use whatever colors you want, but I don't use a lot of paint when I'm doing the foam pouncer, unless I really feel like I have to. Let's put about that much, and I'm just kind of do it that way. Yeah, you can, and they're called, I think these are Martha Stewart. You can get them off Amazon. I think that's where I got them. And they're called foam, F-O-A-M pouncers. Oh, Michael sells them. Phaedra says Michael's has them. It's good to know. I didn't know that. So I have to say, y'all, here lately, I've just been I don't know, I guess a bigger fan of Amazon than I used to be. And I guess it's because I just don't want to get in the car and go somewhere. Well, I went somewhere, what was I looking for? I can't remember what I was looking for one day. And I went all kinds of places looking for it. And I just got frustrated and went home and ordered it on Amazon. So sometimes, especially like since COVID has been hit, you know, is here, the supply chain's kind of messed up. So stores don't always have what you're looking for. But, so I, a lot of times will just order off Amazon just because I don't want to leave the house, and it's just easier and quicker. It doesn't mean you have to do that, but you can get them probably at anywhere. And you can get these too a lot cheaper. They're not going to last as long. These are more expensive, I think. I think a package of these was like $6 for 4 of them, and you probably could get like 12 for $3 or something like that. So, yeah, there's so very few stores to choose from, so Amazon has most everything. That's the truth, Phaedra, right there. And I don't think it's going to get any better, you know, especially the way the economy's been and all. So in a very quick amount of time, I've got 2 polka dots on my eggs, and then I've got, of course, the stripes. We're going to be working on shading that tonight. So one thing I'm going to start, y'all know I kind of start in the middle and come this way, so I'm going to do this right quick. I'm going to show you on my little windshield here. I have it a little bit darker than what I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of do this. Just kind of bring in some lightness there. And you can make that as light or as dark as you want. I am just kind of lighten it up some. I think the trick here is just not to get too much paint, but sometimes that's harder than you can think. That'll just kind of lighten that up a little bit. And I could come in here and do that too if I wanted to, and I probably will, but not right now. So what I'm gonna do is, earlier I painted this truck in sky blue. Then I took put the sky blue in here, and I took some navy blue and I put it in here, and I mixed it up a little bit. I only did a couple drops of that navy blue to make this a little bit darker blue, okay? So now that I have, that's what I did my fenders on. These fenders are in that darker blue that I just hand mixed, navy and sky, okay? So I'm gonna kind of come over here, and all I'm gonna do is just outline this truck with a flat tip. This is a 1/2" flat tip brush. Y'all know that we use it for shading, so that's all I'm gonna do. And I'll come in here and I'll do some brush strokes all over the place with this guy. Okay, something like that. Because to me, when you start to do this part, that's when your piece really starts to look good. It starts to look like something, you know, other than just a cutout shape with some color on it. So I just take this flat tip brush, and I'm going around my blue truck. Love the blue, y'all. And I'm gonna go in here like so. And I'm gonna kind of come in here around my fender, okay? I don't know if y'all can see. Let me turn this down a little bit more. There we go, try to see that. Because this piece is kind of bigger, so it's a little harder for y'all to be able to see all of it. And first of all, y'all know I always outline the perimeter of my piece, and then I can do this. I'm just kind of go up that way, and then I would just kind of come in here with no rhyme, no reason. I'm not trying to make it look perfect. I'm not trying to be precise. I kind of like to be a little bit sloppy, maybe you could think of that, or a little bit random. I don't think I try to be sloppy, but maybe a little bit random. And I'm gonna come over here on this other wheel well. And then I'm going to go all the way up to there. All right, so I've got that. And then I'll just do something like this, okay? Just something to give it some brush strokes. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It doesn't need to be anything perfect. In fact, I really like it if it's imperfect. Probably what I'll do too, with the same brush, and I've just got my white paint. Oh, you like the letters? I did those earlier, and I'll talk about those here in a bit. Today I actually did 2 different lives, and so because I knew this was gonna take some drying time, you know. So with this flat tip brush, I'm just dipping that tip in some white, okay? That's all I'm doing. And y'all know that typically I do a lot of highlights with the script liner, but tonight I like the idea of just going a little bit more, having bigger strokes and a little more random, not so perfecty looking, if you will. And so I'm gonna just kind of come in here with this flat tip brush, and I'm kind of bearing down a little bit hard maybe. And I'm just kind of putting white all over the place because I like the idea of this blue having a lot of white on it, okay? To me, what makes this truck, the best part of this truck is, to me, it's the letters. The lettering's really cute. And then it's the rabbit ears. So my fenders, I did them that darker blue, but I come back and I lighten them up quite a bit. I put a lot of white on them, okay? So I think I'm good for the most part. I can always come back in and add a little bit more white if I want. But you can see it doesn't take much, and you're just taking and dipping that brush with white and just kind of giving it some personality. That's really, I mean, there's nothing hard about that. So let's talk about the letters. So I base coated the letters in yellow, light yellow, this color right here. So that's what I base coated in. Then I came in with the shading yellow, and I took a small flat tip brush, probably let me see if I can find one right quick. Something like this, the small flat tip brush. This is a number 10, I think, yeah. And I just came in here and dipped that paint in there, got a little paint on the edge, and I just went in here and just kind of did it sloppily. I did not try to do, you know, a lot of times when you're shading, you try to be kind of perfect. I didn't do that. I just kind of came in there and just, I would say, did some sloppy shading, for lack of a better explanation. That way, the letters, I love how they turned out, you know, and they're not real perfect, but they're super cute. And they got lots of personality. So while I have this number 10 flat tip, I'm just gonna do this right quick up here on my, on this part. So I'm gonna just, cause I have a small brush in my hand while I'm here, I'm just gonna take care of this. And I really love this piece, y'all. He's one of my favorites. And I think it's because of the ears and the lettering that I like him so much. All right, now what I'm going to show you, I went ahead, I did a lot of this earlier, but I left these H and the A so I could show y'all tonight. So what I did on the H and the A, or what I did on all the letters, but the H and the A I didn't finish, so I'm going to come over here so y'all can see it. I took shading orange with a number 4 script liner. That's what I got. Hey Kathy, hi Joyce, how are y'all? So good y'all could join us. I took this shading orange and just went down into that CNC groove. And with my number 4 script liner, right? I've got that number 4 script liner here in my hand. I didn't use a number 6 because that's a little bit large. I did put a little bit of water in this shading orange, and you got to be a little bit, you know, patient, I guess is the word, and try to hit just inside those CNC lines. To me, I liked the blue truck, sky blue truck, with yellow and orange lettering. To give me, that blue is a real pretty, cool color. Look, I think it's a real pretty springtime color, summer color. And the orange just gives it a pop. That's why I chose that. But now my style, and you can absolutely choose whatever you like, but my style is always going to be bright, bright, bright. That's just what it's what I always gravitate to. So that's what I did. Light yellow base coat on your letters. Then I kind of did what I call a sloppy shade of shading yellow on the letter. And then I've got my script liner, and I'm script linering a shading orange with the number 4 script. And then I think what I'm gonna do here in a minute, I'm gonna wash out this brush, and I'm going to give those letters a little bit of white. Because y'all know I'm a fan of always kind of putting some white highlights on stuff. Okay, I think I got that. Now, while I have this in my hand, I'm going to get a flat tip brush, and I'm gonna go ahead and shade. That's the thing about having these colors in your hand. While you have the color out, let's go ahead and do it. So I've got this shading orange, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this on my ears. And y'all see, I like to make just random brush strokes just to kind of give it some personality. That's just my style. And you don't have to do that, but that's just kind of the look that I like. And you can see it just doesn't take a whole lot to put a few brush strokes here and there. And y'all know I'll come back and put some white in there. And I think what I'll do is I will, while I have this in my hand, I'll come in here and do this. I'm just kind of putting a shade there. I'm gonna put a smaller shade right here, y'all. There we go. So I've got my orange shaded. Let me put my brush in the water, and then I will get, let's do this. Let's get some shading purple. This is a number 12 shader that I have in my hand. It's not like a 1/2 inch big one, but it is, because I'm not doing a very big area. So I would just kind of come up here and do something like that. Kind of feather that up a little bit. There we go. And I'd probably do something like that. Just kind of put it here and put some color in there. Let's see. Now, I've got that green and that pink. So let me get a little bit of shading pink with this number 12 flat tip brush. Let me put a little bit of shading pink in here, y'all. Hey, Alma, how are you? Let's see. Do you have a question? The letters almost look like a watercolor. Love them. Yeah, I just did what I call a kind of a sloppy shade of yellow. I didn't try to be perfect with it. I just kind of went, let me just kind of throw it on there. So that's why it looks that way. And then I would probably come up here and put some pink on this. And honestly, I'm gonna come over here and just give this some personality, y'all. Just kind of put a little bit of paint there. Got the sniffles. I've been sniffling all day. I don't know what's in the air, but it doesn't like me. Now, I'm gonna get some Christmas green. Oh, y'all, I just love this little truck. He's super cute. Let's get some Christmas green. Of course, I only have 20 colors out here, but no Christmas green. Let's do this. Put a little bit in here. I still have this small brush in my hand. And notice what I'm doing. I'm fanning my brush out because I keep washing that brush and getting the water out and pinching it, and it makes all the bristles clump together. So if your bristles are clumped together, what I typically do is just sit here. Probably not what you're supposed to do on a brush, but that's what I do anyway. All right, so I'm gonna do a little Christmas green right here. And you can just see the little bit of shading that I'm doing on my egg makes a big difference. It doesn't take a whole lot. You don't have to do a ton, but if you'll do a little bit, I think you'll be real happy with it. Kind of come in here. The reason I normally would just go over that pink, but it's wet, so I can't really do that right now. So I think that's all I'm gonna do. Oh, I need to put something on this guy. Let me wash up my brush right quick. And then we're gonna do some outlining and some highlighting. Okay, so this is that light blue, that sky blue. I'm sorry, not light blue, but sky blue. And I took the number 6 navy, put a little in here, and this is the darker blue I mixed. Just kind of got a darker blue in here. I'm not gonna put a whole lot. Now, I kind of like the idea of using this small brush, this number 12 flat tip brush, as my highlighter, okay? So, what does that mean? I'm gonna just kind of come in here. Hope y'all can see. I'm just putting a little bit on here, and I am gonna do almost like a dry brush. I'm gonna put a lot of white on this piece. I'm a person that when it comes to Easter and spring, I tend to put a lot of white. That doesn't mean you have to. That's just what I do. Okay. And I'm kind of making it soft. It's not very, very strong, I guess. It's not very noticeable. It's a little more subtle. That's kind of what I like. So I'm just using, as y'all can see, really what you might think of as shading, but I'm just kind of using it as a highlight. I'll even come in here and do this. You could also highlight with your script liner. You don't necessarily have to highlight the way I'm doing it. It just kind of gives it a little bit different look. Almost like a dry brush, messy, kind of a random look. Let's see. Okay, so let's turn around and let's look at our ribbons. Hold on, y'all. It was a too bright. All right, is this blank available, this truck, at your shop? Yep, it is. Well, in fact, we ran out and I put some more in stock today. And so, yes, it is available. I added stock just this afternoon because we were out of them. So what I'm gonna do on this little guy, first of all, I'm going to take a lot of paint off of here. And I'm just gonna kind of do this in the middle. Just kind of brighten that up a little bit. You don't have to. And then I think I'll do this. I'm just gonna do this dry brush, kind of messy look. And then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. Again, you can have a very different look if I use a script liner. I'm just kind of going for the, oh, you might say the kind of dry brush, random, messy look, for lack of a better word. But I like that, okay? So I'm going to do this guy, same way. I put the brush on, I put the brush in the paint, I kind of back off a little bit, and I'm just doing this. Oh, I gotta do my bumper up here, can't forget that. And then I'm putting my brush in here and I'm going this way. Just kind of making it messy. Okay, let's see, this guy might need a little bit more over here, I think. There we go, yeah. I kind of like that. Gives it a really kind of a original hand paint kind of look. All right, let me pick up my script liner, and here's what I'm gonna do with my script liner. Now, if you wanted to, I just used that flat tip small brush to do some shading or highlighting, didn't I? Now, I've got my script liner, and I'm gonna do some highlighting with my script liner. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and take a lot of paint off of there and just kind of come in here and very kind of randomly. I'm not trying to put a lot of white on here, but I'm gonna lighten those letters up just a bit, okay? So, just to kind of give them a very, very, almost like a, I think somebody said earlier, a watercolor look, yeah. Definitely a unique, you know, kind of look. And I think the trick here is to don't try to be perfect. If you're going, you know, if you have that thing about everything needs to look exactly asymmetrical and exactly uniform, then you're not gonna like doing this. I don't have that. I just kind of, sometimes to me, a little bit of sloppiness makes it look really, really hand painted. All right. Gonna come down. And I just am taking this script liner. Okay. Now, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wash out this script liner. And I'm gonna go up here and work on these ears. But I really don't know which I'm gonna like. Now, if you look at these are pretty doggone close. This is red orange and this is shading orange, right? You kind of straighten that up. So I'm gonna take the shading orange, I think, and I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna outline that yellow inside of the ear, okay? And then I'm gonna take this red orange. I didn't bother even washing out my brush, and I'm gonna kind of come up here. You don't have to use red orange, you could use the shading orange, but again, I'm going for that bright, bright, bright look. Shading orange has a lot of red in it, so I'm not gonna put a ton on here, but I am gonna put some in here. If you think that's too bright, then stick with the shading orange for script linering that outline. come up here and just do that. So I'm pretty much done. I think my ears are good to go. And the point about the ears is that they don't look exactly like the letters, and they really are got a good contrast with the truck. So I'm good on that. Now at this point, I got to make a decision. What am I going to outline the truck with? So I think what we're going to do, what I'm going to do, I think if I use black on here, I'm not going to like that. I think that's going to be too harsh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that number 6 navy. Debbie says she does the messy look all the time. Hey, that's not by mistake. That's by design. See, it all depends on how you frame it, Debbie. You meant to do it that way. There you go. I really do kind of like the messy look, y'all. I know that's kind of counterintuitive, right? Some people really want to go for the more perfect and uniform and symmetrical and everything is looking prim and proper, so to speak. But that's really not me. Probably because I'm not too prim and proper in real life. Maybe that's why. Who knows? Okay, so I've got this navy, number 6 navy blue, I think is what it is. Let's see if I like it. Oh yeah, I like it. It's a dark color, which is a good thing, but I think if I did a black, it would be too stark. Now I can always tell you a lot of times if I'm in question about what to outline with, my go-to colors would be navy, which is what I'm doing right now. And sometimes I have been known to outline things in that shading purple, because that shading purple is pretty doggone dark. And it goes on dark, but it dries really dark. So you could always use that for an outline, depending on what colors you have in your design. So I've got a little bit of a hesitation here to get enough paint down into that CNC edge line. Kind of having to go back and forth. But I think I like the blue, so I'll probably kind of do a little bit of that. Not much. I'm going to kind of stay very, very light on any random strokes on this, because I really want my sky blue to stand out. I don't want to cover it up too much. So I'd probably do something like that. Yeah, I like that, y'all. So far, so good, right? So the thing about this guy is he's super colorful, which, y'all, is what I like. That's what I like. And so I'll come up here. This is kind of like the door on the truck, so to speak. Now here's my fender. So I'm going to outline the fender pretty good. I'm going to bring that blue right up to the black wheel. About like that. Yep. Yeah, but the thing about outlining is it sure does make it look finished. And then I'd probably do something like that. A little bit of strokes, not a whole lot. I'm going to put a little in here. And then I'm going to come over here and outline my front bumper. I just made my bumper a base coat of gray and put a little bit of white on him. That's all I did. Let's see. I'm going to put a little bit in here. And then I've got the rest of my door. I was saying earlier, because this is I did 3 lives on this guy, because I did a base coat, and then I did a part where I worked on the letters a lot. But tomorrow I'll take all 3 of them and condense them and put them into one video. And I'll put it on Yard Art Academy. So if you want to go back and refer to it, you can. I'll make it all one video though. Because in the Facebook feed, it's going to show up as 3 videos. But I did label them part 1, part 2, and part 3. I did have presence of mind to do that. All right, so I've got that. Okay, so let's kind of move this guy around. just kind of making sure I put enough paint in there that it falls down into that CNC line. If you don't get enough the first go around, come back and put it in there. Come over here, and I won't do a whole line. I'll just kind of do a little messy line, if you will, up here. Okay. All right, let me come over here. Got my eggs kind of the way I want them. Let me just kind of come in here and do a little bit of a brush stroke. Put a little bit more paint on here, y'all. And I'll kind of come over here. Yeah, y'all can see. All right. So I'd kind of do that. Okay, I think I'm almost done, but I gotta do something with these wheels, y'all. So think what I'm gonna do. Decisions. Okay, I just happen to have some darker gray right here that I mixed with that number 24 gray. I put some black with it. Oh Lord, it's almost drying out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna outline the hub of the wheel with that darker gray. Just kind of dragging that paint. Yeah, I like that. Hopefully y'all can see. Excuse me. Let's do a little bit of just a darker gray. You can take that number 24 gray and mix a little bit of black with it and get you some darker gray and do your outline like this. There we go. Okay, let me show you. He's really pretty easy to paint. I think the hardest part is the letters, but if you like the lettering I did, just base coat your letters in light yellow. Take a small flat tip brush like a number 10. Let me show you. Let me see if I can find a small brush. Something like this, small flat tip brush. And just kind of messy out a messy shade light yellow. So those of you that are having trouble shading, you know, you feel like you're doing it messy, don't worry about it. Just do it messy. That's what I did on that yellow. And then of course I picked up a number 4 script liner and used shading orange to outline my letters, and then I used a script liner to put a little bit of white on my letters. Okay? So let me show you how this little guy looks. I'm gonna give you this view back here. You can kind of see. And I'll put him up here close so you can see. But I think he's probably one of my favorites. And he's really not that hard. You just have to have some patience. But y'all, it's the Happy Easter letters, I think, and the ears that make this truck look so cute. Okay? So, hopefully, if y'all decide to do it, I've given you a good way to get started at least. And I did put some more into inventory today, so we do have some because we did run out. And see, today is Monday. Let's see. Ashley will be here on Thursday. Actually, she'll be in the Painters Club on Thursday at 2 o'clock, and she's going to be showing you guys how to paint the Easter basket. So, anyway, Stop on by the store if you decide you want to do this, and we will see you guys on Thursday in the Painters Club with Ashley doing the Easter basket. Hope you guys have a good evening, and thank y'all for watching. Love painting with you guys, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.